Our planet is facing an unprecedented challenge. Climate change is real, and its impacts are being felt across the globe. From melting glaciers to extreme weather events, the evidence is undeniable. But in the face of this global threat, there is hope. The United Nations stands as a beacon of unity, bringing together nations to combat climate change. For decades, the UN has been a leading force in raising awareness, fostering cooperation, and driving action to address this defining issue of our time. The UN's commitment to climate action is unwavering. It recognizes the urgency and the global scale of the challenge. Climate change knows no borders. It affects us all. That's why the UN is committed to working with nations, organizations, and individuals to create a sustainable future for all. This is a call to action, a call for unity, and a call for a global commitment to protect our planet for generations to come. The year was 1992. The world witnessed a pivotal moment in the fight against climate change. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or UNFCCC, was born. This landmark treaty marked the beginning of a global effort to address this pressing issue. For the first time, nations came together, acknowledging the need for collective action. The UNFCCC laid the groundwork for international cooperation on climate change. It established a framework for ongoing negotiations and commitments. The principle of common but differentiated responsibilities recognized that developed nations, with their historical contributions to greenhouse gas emissions, had a greater responsibility in addressing the problem. The UNFCCC was a crucial first step, a testament to the power of global collaboration in tackling a shared challenge. In 1997, the world took another significant step forward with the adoption of the Kyoto Protocol. This agreement built upon the foundation laid by the UNFCCC. It set binding emission reduction targets for developed countries. The Kyoto Protocol was a landmark achievement, marking the first time nations agreed to legally binding emission reductions. However, the Kyoto Protocol faced challenges. Not all developed nations ratified the treaty. The United States, a major emitter, did not join. This limited the protocol's overall impact. Despite its shortcomings, the Kyoto Protocol served as a valuable learning experience, paving the way for future agreements. The year 2015 marked a turning point in the global fight against climate change. World leaders gathered in Paris to forge a new path forward. The outcome was the historic Paris Agreement, a testament to the power of international collaboration. Nearly 200 countries united in their commitment to combat climate change. The Paris Agreement set ambitious goals. It aimed to limit global temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, with efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. This ambitious target sent a clear signal to the world: urgent action was needed to avert the most catastrophic impacts of climate change. Section 5: Sustainable Development Goals. Integrating climate action for a better future. The UN's Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, provide a roadmap for a more sustainable and equitable future. Among these 17 goals, Goal 13 focuses specifically on climate action. It recognizes the interconnectedness of climate change with other global challenges, such as poverty, hunger, and inequality. Goal 13 emphasizes the urgent need to integrate climate change measures into national policies, strategies, and planning. It calls for increased investment in climate resilience and adaptation measures, particularly in developing countries that are most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Section 6: UNEP championing green technology and climate education for a sustainable future. The United Nations Environment Programme, or UNEP, plays a crucial role in the global fight against climate change. UNEP acts as a catalyst for change, promoting environmental sustainability and inspiring action worldwide. One of UNEP's key areas of focus is promoting sustainable consumption and production patterns. UNEP works to decouple economic growth from environmental degradation, encouraging industries to adopt cleaner production technologies and reduce their environmental footprints. Additionally, UNEP is actively involved in promoting climate education and awareness. UNEP understands that informed citizens are crucial for driving meaningful change. Through its various programs and initiatives, UNEP is making significant contributions to the global effort to combat climate change and create a more sustainable future. Section 7. Facing the realities, extreme weather events and the urgent need for climate resilience. The impacts of climate change are no longer a distant threat, they are being felt around the world today. Extreme weather events such as hurricanes, floods, droughts and heat waves are becoming more frequent and intense. These events have devastating consequences for communities, economies and ecosystems. The increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events highlight the urgent need for climate resilience. This means taking steps to adapt to the changing climate and mitigate the risks associated with climate change impacts. Building climate resilience is essential for protecting lives, livelihoods and infrastructure from the devastating effects of climate change. Section 8. Rising tides, dwindling time, confronting the threat of rising sea levels. One of the most alarming consequences of climate change is rising sea levels. As global temperatures rise, glaciers and ice sheets melt at an accelerated rate, causing sea levels to rise. This poses a significant threat to coastal communities and ecosystems worldwide. Low-lying island nations are particularly vulnerable, facing the risk of being submerged entirely. Rising sea levels also threaten critical infrastructure, including ports, roads, and coastal cities. The economic and social consequences of sea level rise are potentially catastrophic, displacing millions of people and causing billions of dollars in damage. Addressing this challenge requires a global effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and invest in adaptation measures to protect coastal communities. Section 9. A collective responsibility. Embracing global cooperation and innovation for a brighter future. The fight against climate change is a collective responsibility. It requires a united global effort with all nations, organizations and individuals playing their part. International cooperation is essential for sharing knowledge, resources and best practices. Developed nations have a moral obligation to support developing countries in their efforts to transition to low-carbon economies and adapt to the impacts of climate change. Innovation is also key to finding solutions to this global challenge. Investing in renewable energy, developing sustainable technologies, and promoting energy efficiency are crucial steps in the right direction. Each and every one of us has a role to play in addressing climate change. By making conscious choices in our daily lives, we can collectively make a difference. By reducing our carbon footprint, supporting sustainable practices, and advocating for change, we can contribute to a healthier and more sustainable future for all.